It is show time. Welcome back, guys, to Pimp My Team, Rate My Team. We're talking about team ratings here. Now, a lot of advice to go through this week. A lot of pods to talk about this week as well. A lot of options that we got to consider. I'll be running through in the private Discord all the different teams there and giving some advice for what I think they should do this week. Now, before I tear into it, if you do want to join, the link is in the description of this video. It is wap.com/the casual athlete. And you jump into the Discord and you'll get access to these private sections in that elite coaches area, whether it's cheapies, mid-range, or guns. If you do go for mid-range or gun, you get a bit more access there as well with a private chat later too. So let's tear into it. First things first, before I go into these teams, I'm going to minimize this screen and just jump across to show you guys sort of some of the options here. So if you didn't catch buy, hold, sell, a lot of those buys there. Latrell Mitchell is a big one to talk about today, a risky option. Nathan Cleary, if you don't have Cleary, I'm going to be recommending to buy Cleary. He's a must-have at 745K. Saul Wong we'll talk about. Fogarty, safe as houses. And then Toby Couchman, slightly more expensive, but a bit safer than Saul Wong. Then for the cheapies, I'll just jump down to them. Dylan Egan feels like a must-have to me this week. Sullivan, very risky, very big upside. Jenkins, Riley Smith, really solid. And Savala, Hugo Savala, he is one that we'll get onto next week if he goes well. Last thing to cover here too with the pods. We'll talk about Dylan Brown a bit. Thomas Kant is an exciting option. Looks like he has 2 to 3 weeks more starting in that spot. Leo Thompson, underrated pod, I think, with obviously Adam Elliott and Jacob Safidi out. And then Hudson Young, Aaron Clark, nice pods there too. So let's get right into this here and let's go through some of these teams. But before I do, who have we got in the house? Just drop a message if you're here. Let me know you're around and I'll pop some of those up on the screen here. So Perrin, Humphreys, question there. Do I sell Jezewski, Shaden? Yeah, I'm okay with selling Jezewski. Aaron Clark, big pod. Just showed him there, but he's an exciting pod. Let's go, Wog. Good to see you. Lachlan James, what's up, Longy? Love your content. Cheers, man. Appreciate you being here. Hi, Terrence. How's it going? Lachlan was here early. Rate my team, the only place where I love being judged. Well, that's a great segue to get right into it. Yeah, the judgment is it's mostly friendly, but look, if anyone wants their team absolutely destroyed, you can just put that in the message there too, and I'll really tear into it. So let's get into these teams here. We'll start with Fanatics and we'll work our way up with all the teams that just got sent through. Remember, guys, if you sent your team earlier, you'll get a written review instead if you get missed as well. So Fanatics, hey Longy, these are my 2 trades and team setup. Actually, before I go to that, just let me show you super quickly. Here's my cheapie rankings for this week as well. I won't show these every week, but Tamale, Mama Zealous, Thomas Jenkins, Egan, Riley Smith, they're really guys that I'm thinking are must starts. Then like Purdue, Katonga, Hubner, you sort of work down the list there in terms of cheapie prioritization. A couple that I'm not keen on this week. So Stafford Toa, I'm a little bit iffy about him. I think Brad and Best will get the best of him, pun intended. And Sand and Smith, I want to see how this works with Savala as well. So there's a few things I'm watching out for there, but they're the cheapie rankings for me so far. So let's get into these. We'll start with Divine and we'll work our way up. So, hey, mates, what do you think of these trades, especially Wong? Set up a loop for Sand and Smith and Metcalf. However, who do you reckon I should take for interchange spots 1 to 3? Okay, let's see this here. So, firstly, we've got the, Cole for the loophole. That's a good option there. Cole plays that early game in the round, so that's a really easy one to work with. And let me just check these matchups in terms of their order. Because obviously Panthers playing early. They're playing early a bunch too, so that does make Cole a little bit less helpful for our fantasy teams. But yeah, with that Cole one, you've got the Metcalf, Sand and Smith play. Just make sure Metcalf plays nice and early for you there. Okay, so Metcalf plays really late in the round, but yeah, Sand and Smith is nice and early. So yeah, that will work well. You can easily swap those around. I would say if I'm looking at your team, Kautonga is the next drop. Finafuyaki's been a bit unhelpful for our team so far. And personally, if I was you, I would start Kautonga over Stafford Toa. I think Kautonga is a stronger option than Stafford Toa this week. Toa's scored 3 tries in the last 2 games, and he's pumped out some pretty good numbers, and I love him for it. But I don't expect him to be as good this week. I think Brad and Best will lock it up, and I think it'll be a bit of a crash back to earth for Stafford Toa. I still think he scores, 20, 25, 30 points, but I think Kautonga will outscore him. Other than that, in terms of trades, let's see those here. So you got Humphreys and Lomax out. Yeah, rough news with Lomax being out for about 6 weeks there. Trading in Cleary and Wong. Great trade-ins. That's really good. Yeah, so Cleary's a must-have, obviously, and then Wong's a good option. He's an exciting one. Just keep an eye on the late changes there. So you might have to reverse that trade potentially if there are late changes that don't help you. But just keep an eye on that because I think Spencer Leniu will come into the starting side. My suspicion is Nat Butcher will go back to the bench. So I don't think it's going to affect Wong that much, but I think he might play 65 minutes in this one instead of 80 minutes there. So that's what I think for Wong there. Let me just turn the lights back on 1 second. All right, the lights are back on. I need to fix up these motion sensor lights because I sit in a part of the room that doesn't work that well. So yeah, Divine, you're in a good spot there with those trades. Rolling through, Dayman, hey, how you doing? My team needs some work and I would love your insights. I'm not sure what position to shoot for, gun back rower. Okay, option 1, clear out dead weight for cash generation. I think it's a good option. Option 2, go for Couchy and Egan. Couchy good for mid coverage, origin, yeah. Option 3, clear out Duffy and keep Cole for now. No rush, low break even. And can't keep 77k in the bank. Let's see these trades here. So Duffy and Cole out for Egan and Hubner are pretty good trades. Hubner, I'm a little iffy on Hubner. I think he will have some quieter games in him. So I don't know if he's someone I'd target necessarily. Egan and Couchman from Humphreys and Cole. I think that's a really good pair of trades. I think that might be the best one so far. And then Humphreys and Duffy for Egan and Cant. No, I would take the Humphreys and Cole out, Egan and Couchman in. I think that's the play there. You can stick with Duffy a little bit longer. The other thing is Duffy is more useful as a loophole because Duffy plays on Saturday. So whereas Cole is not that helpful for you in terms of loopholing. So personally, I would keep Duffy, use him in the loophole, and do this trade here for Egan and Couchman. In terms of your team and loophole there, you've got heaps of loophole options. Noani Tawase might get back into the team. I've heard he might play on the wing, but no guarantees whatsoever. But yeah, Duffy, you can use in a loophole there. And then the easy loophole for you is probably going to be Jenkins is one you can consider. Probably Sand and Smith. I would say Sand and Smith is a great loophole for you. So you could bring Metcalf probably into your starting side there and then use Sand and Smith in the loophole spot. That'll be an easy banger. But yeah, go for those Couchman and Egan trades is my play there. Then before I go through more of these, let's just see if there's any questions popping up in the chat. Just make sure everything's going well. YTB, good to see you, mate. Cheers for that. Appreciate the tip. Sharp or Fogarty? Fogarty I would go for, but Sharp has big upside and he's an exciting option. Kinaz on Hudson Young. Should I buy even if I have Preston and Nicholson? Yeah, I'm good with it. I think you can own all three of those guys 100%. Then Nathan is clearly the wide option. Can't go wrong. Well played. Well played. I'm actually going to make a post about NRL player name puns after this. I just want to get everyone's best puns. We can start using them more. Humphreys and Cole to Sharp and Couchman. Pretty good trades, or to Latrell and Dylan Egan. I'm targeting Latrell and Dylan Egan myself. I think Egan's a must-have, and Latrell is risky, but he's interesting, and I'm personally jumping on. Longy, what are your thoughts on a pod captain of Jaden Campbell? I think you got to. I would personally go with a normal captain. So Payne Haas, Terrell May, Nathan Cleary. I would stick with one of those guys. I'm leaning towards Payne Haas. I know it's boring, but I think we see a Payne Haas bounce back, and he's my guy, 100%. Then, interesting. Tavita Pangai Jr. could be coming back. Could be interesting. Look, he obviously will take some time to get back into things, so I'm not super worried about rushing him in. And then views on Can. I'll mention this one too. A lot of talk that Dylan Lucas would be back either round 8 or round 9. That would be 2 to 3 weeks for Thomas Cant starting on the edge. He will make big cash. I would expect him to make about 150K in that time. So that by itself is worth a bunch to you there. The potential for him to go to lock when Lucas comes back because he is an absolute weapon. He's the captain of their reserve grade side. Could easily play at lock and just rack up tons of tackles. So I think Cant is a great option, but you have to do it this week. And yeah, he's a great option this week. But I might even switch to Cant at some point. Like he's someone I'm thinking about. I'm tossing up a few things right now. So next up, we got Billy Walters is the GOAT. And look, Walters, he played a bit of half last week. So yeah, that's exciting for you as a Walters fan. Around the 1,000 mark here, we got Preston and Humphreys to deal with. Then we've got a pretty solid bench here. Cole we can sort of deal with as well. For the rest of it, it's Humphreys and Hopgood to Fogarty and Wong. Don't love that. It's okay. Humphreys and Hopgood to Fogarty and Aitken. Definitely not on Aitken. So Aitken later on in the year, you're a bit ahead. Later on in the year, he'll be good, but he'll lose cash at center. So give him some time. And then Fogarty and Farmworth. Ooh. I kind of like that trade. I kind of like that Fogarty and Farmworth trade, but at the same time, you don't have Dylan Egan, and I think he's a must-have. So look, if I was choosing out of your 3 trades, I would do the Farmworth trade. But my personal recommendation here is that you sell Humphreys and Cole, and you buy Egan and Fogarty, or Egan and Farmworth. You make your call there, but probably Egan and Fogarty. So yeah, keep Hopgood just because you have Cole to sell anyway, and that'll be an easy trade for you. So Humphreys and Cole out, Fogarty and Egan in. So Dylan Egan for the Dragons. That's the play there for you. That's what I'd do. I think Egan's just going to make a bunch of cash for us, and we have to go get him now. Pumping out great numbers. He has a great role in the team. He's awesome. All right, rolling through this next team here, we got Rolando Bloom, Enterprise for his role in Lord of the Rings. Now, this is a solid team. You got Saul Wong in there, a lot of Roosters. Okay, that's interesting to note. Jenkins, Ponga, Mamazelis, Gilbert. Yep, okay. Good bench here. Jack Cole we have to deal with, and Jezewski is a bit of a problem as well. Isaiah Yongi bounced back in a big way last week, so yes, keep riding that train. Trades here you've suggested are Humphreys and Leia Tower out for Cleary and Wong. I can't say no to those trades. So Leia Tower is not one that I'd be desperate to sell if I was you, but because he's more interesting. He's good in Supercoach. Like, I actually think he's a big upside guy in Supercoach, but for fantasy, not that interesting. For this one, I would say, yeah, Cleary. You got to get Cleary. Cleary at 745k is absolutely insane. And then Wong is a good filler option there for your other role there. So, yep, good trades. And then for your bench, you've got Cole as a loopholer. So you could you? I'm just thinking of maybe some loopholes that you could do, but you're not in the best position to loophole. Yeah, okay, you probably can't really do a loophole there. I was thinking maybe if you had a second half on the bench, you might be able to, but yeah, there's not really a loophole option for you. So, yep, no loophole. Stick with this. I think Hubner's a good one to start there, and I think you're in a good position with your bench. So, ride with that. All right, Magic Money. Hey, Longy, any advice here? Was thinking Safidi could be a good pod play. Gives me cash to upgrade either Cole or Nicholson, depending on his role when Hoskin gets back. That's a good thing to think about, 100%. So you got Humphreys and Hopgood out, Wong and Couchman in. It's okay. It's okay. And then you've got Humphreys and Hopgood out for Safidi and Couchman. So Wong and Safidi are about the same price there. Safidi plays that first game of the round, so it does lock in. Look, I guess the question is, do you get value out of the edge back row spot there? You've got Couchman as well, so I don't think you're desperate, right? Because you have Couchman, you have Kautonga, you have Egan, yeah, you have Thomas Cant. So the edge back row dual position doesn't really change my decision making for you much at all. So I guess we go past that. It's a question of Dan Safidi or Saw Wong. My thinking here is that Saw Wong has the higher upside, so the higher potential. Dan Safidi is safer. So really, it comes down to, I guess, your preference there. Like, do you want that safety? Dan Safidi's been averaging mid-50s, and he's been pumping it. But Saw Wong has massive, massive upside. Saying that, Dan Safidi has been scoring a few tries as well. So he might be the option to go for. Saw Wong, though, if he does lock in that role, he will be so effective through the origin period. So, look, I would probably lean towards Saw Wong out of those two. But the Dan Safidi pod is red hot. And like, really, I'm giving you permission here. Like, you can go the way you want to go between these two. I personally will recommend Saw Wong, but it is really a coin toss. So if you lean the other way, don't let me talk you out of it. The other thing is you're ranked around 2,000. So I don't mind the pod play too. Like, a pod could really set you apart. So just keep that in mind. If you want to take the pod play, take a bit of a difference maker. Safidi could be that guy, whereas Saw Wong's a bit more common. Good team name too, pain in the ass. Cam Cleary, who plays in our draft leagues, he always loved that team name as well. Josh Muddle, thoughts on this, please? I'm thinking of doing these trades and possibly targeting Katoa and Walsh next week. Advice and thoughts are appreciated. Okay, yeah, so Katoa and Walsh next week is a fair two to target. Couchman and Egan, yep, so same sort of deal there. Humphreys and Cole out. They're fine trades. Look, they're the normal trades, like they're the safer trades. You've got all the other guys you sort of need to have as well. You can do this trade. I'll throw a few other options at you. You could look at potentially targeting, and you've already got a lot of wing fullback, so you probably don't really need a wing fullback. I'm going Latrell, for example, but you've got so much wing fullback, I don't think you need to do it. You could target someone like Hudson Young as well, who could be a good option. But yeah, Couchman's a red hot option. So yeah, these trades are good. Your bench setup is, I would change it a bit. Personally, I would play Egan, and I would probably play, it's controversial, probably play Purdue, and I would remove Corey Pakes and Sandon Smith. That's how I view it, but go with your gut on that. I do think Egan is a must play, though. Like Egan, his role in that 50 minutes a game, he's scoring 45 points. If he keeps playing that role, he's an absolute must have, an absolute weapon. Remember, guys, if you do want to jump in, the link is in the description of this video. So you just jump in and sign up, and then you can send your team through on Discord. Fanatics, hey Longy, these are my two trades, and sorry for the tease before when you nearly were first and then didn't end up being that way. These are your two trades and setup. Is it crazy not to grab Yo as you have plenty of mid cover? Thoughts is to leave Campbell in your halves and bring in a gun wing fullback to take his spot. Don't mind that. Also bring in Kent in case I need to sell Hopgood, because I want to bring in Karaz next week to strengthen my backline. Any thoughts and suggestions would be appreciated. Cheers, man. Appreciate that. So let's see. Humphreys and Cole out for Mitchell and Kent. As long as you have Egan, I'm good with it. And you've got Egan already, so that's cool. You've got Jenkins. You've got all the sort of cheapies that you need to have there. So yeah, these are good trades. So you're removing Humphreys and Cole. You had some cash in the bank. You're making a big upgrade here to Kent and Mitchell. This is an absolutely fantastic pair of trades. Kent is a really nice pod, sitting in overall rank 265 as well. So nearly the top 200. I think this trade pair, look, Mitchell is a bit risky, but he's an exciting option in the halves. If he kicks the ball 500 plus meters again, then we love that. So yeah, I think these are good trades. I think they give you a chance to move right up the ranks this week. So I like the pod play. I like it for you. The one thing I would recommend here is Svelio Tamale should be in your starting side. Like 100% should be in your starting side. So with Tamale, I'd put him in over basically everyone here pretty much. But I'd probably go either Shibasaki or Toya. It's sort of your call between those two. I would pick one of them not to start. My leaning is Shibasaki is going to be on the winning team, but Toya is the better fantasy player. I'd bench Shibasaki and play Tamale, just because Tamale against Parramatta, the wings are a bit fragile, and obviously Lomax is out now too, so their edges could be even more fragile. So yeah, definitely play Tamale, but other than that, you're set. Cleary as captain's a fun pod too. Not heaps of people are going with Cleary as captain, although Harley Davidson's doing the same thing. Are these trades good, and is there anything else you would change? So let's see the trades first, and then we'll jump into the team. So we've got Humphreys and Cole out for Campbell and Egan. They're good trades. Yeah, Campbell's a great option. Or Humphreys for Latrell, and then something else. Okay, so Humphreys for Latrell, I'd still do the Cole to Egan trade alongside that, by the way. So Cole to Egan, lock that in. Then it's just a question of Latrell versus Campbell. Now, they're priced around the same. I think Campbell is slightly better for fantasy, but Latrell has massive upside, and he's a big pod. So again, it's going to be a question of, do you see South Sydney beating the Cowboys this week? Versus, do you see the Titans beating the Dragons this week? Right? And I would pick the one who you think is going to win their game, basically. So that's sometimes as simple as it is. Like, imagine those players playing. I have both Campbell and Latrell. If I was picking only one, I would pick Campbell. That's my view on it. I think just Campbell's got that locked-in role. It's really secure. Latrell's a little bit dodgy still with, he's named in the halves, but we don't know what's going to happen. In terms of the team here, look, it looks all good. Alamotti's a fun pod there. Hopefully he can pop off for you. You got Cole going out anyway, so you don't really need to worry about loopholes. Then, yeah, look, Metcalf's there. You could potentially play Metcalf. Yeah, but you don't necessarily have to. Yeah, I would go for this trade set here. So Humphreys and Cole out, Egan and Campbell in. I've got Campbell ahead of Latrell, but I think Latrell could pop off this week. So I'm buying Latrell, full transparency, but I already had Campbell. Fantasy Wise Guy, hey Longy, cheers for the advice last week. Moved up into the top 100. Any suggestions for Humphrey? Thinking of Fogarty to strengthen my halves, or move Campbell into half and use 730k elsewhere. Fogarty's a good option. Fogarty's a really good option. He's a really safe option. I think by the sounds of things, Fogarty might be the best option for you. You've already got Campbell there. You've only got 730k to spend as well, so it's not a crazy amount. If you get Fogarty 2, you can run a nice little. Oh no, you're losing Humphreys. I was going to say a little. Oh, you can still do a little loophole, but it probably isn't going to work the best. Rank 78 is a great spot to be. Good stuff, man. Yeah, I feel like the ranks in here are just on the rise. Like every week, I've seen a few of you guys just really shooting up those ranks. So it's good to see that we as a collective are jumping up. But you especially, man, Hinterland Headhunters, hopefully top 10 next week. Let's get you in there. Now, with these trades, I'm thinking about it a bit differently now because you're in that bracket with those top guys. So I think Fogarty is a really, really solid option. I guess my question I'm asking myself is, do you have enough pod play here to do well? I think Crichton's a really nice pod. A lot of people won't get onto him because of the origin period. So I think you're enjoying that one. Garrick is less of a pod, but kind of interesting. Campbell, Marzu against the Tigers this week could be attractive. Nicholson is not in a lot of teams as well. I think it's a good move. Yeah, I think it's a great move for you to go with there. You need the half cover as well. So, yeah, I think Fogarty locks you in. This is the week to go a little bit safer, and then we can have a look at some pods for you next week. Yeah, they're great trades. In terms of your bench then, you've got Purdue and Jenkins in there as well as Seyfarth and Horsburgh over Hubner, Sandon Smith, Tamale. I really think that you got to start Tamale. I'm starting Tamale over Stafford Toa, right? So personally, if it was my team, I would put Tamale in and take Toa out. But really, start sit decisions have not been easy this year. It's been all over the place. So if you think Stafford Toa and the Tigers are going to beat the Knights up, stick with Toa. But I think that Tamale will have some attacking opportunities up against Parramatta, and I think he's going to show out. So he's a must start in my head, and he's ranked number 1 in my cheapie rankings, which you can see in the other channel as well. All right, this is a big one. Okay, we got Moody. Difficult week to decide on trades. Ideally, would do one, but I want to capitalize on a cheapie. Could either get 2 cheapies to make it easier to bring in Kraz next week, or 1 cheapie and a more expensive player. I feel like I mainly need middle or edge, especially for the origin rounds. So I really want to decide between Couchman or Tarpanay pod. Could go for Trell too. So many options. Okay, White trade option is either White or Butcher. Let's see. So Fogarty going to Manly 2026. Manly winning the comp. Look, it was all making sense until that last part. Let's see these trades. So we got Humphreys and Cole for White and Egan. I don't think it's time to buy White. I get that he's going well, but he's sort of priced in the mid 40s now. Like he's been playing 50, 49 minutes the last few weeks. I just don't really see it. I think if Nat Butcher plays prop, it's going to reduce his minutes down to that 50, 49 area where he's not going to pump out big numbers. So personally, I'm not that keen on White, but maybe I'm just digging my feet in because I've sort of been against him in general. And he's just had injury after injury that have benefited him. So look, if you want to do it, you can do it. Tarpanay makes a lot more sense to me as an exciting upside option. But again, 730K, it's not cheap. So I don't think there's heaps of value in him. But he's a good option. Fogarty feels a bit better than Tarpanay. And if I was picking, I would say Fogarty will outscore Tarpanay across the period leading up to the State of Origin period. But these trades are good. Humphreys and Cole for Fogarty and Egan is the best pair of trades so far, in my view. You've got Couchman and Jenkins here. Jenkins is already 350K. I think Egan is probably a safer option there. So I'm going to prefer the previous ones. And then Jenkins, Egan, Couchman, Egan. Yeah, look, I'm leaning towards Fogarty and Egan as the best trades. But if you like Couchman, I don't mind that as well. Couchman, though, he's priced at a 48 now, so he's running out of value too. But I've got Couchman ahead in Nafahu White personally, just because the minutes are a bit higher for him. And he hasn't relied on injuries as much. In terms of the team here, look, great setup for your team. A lot of Knights players in there. Bench looks good. You got the loophole kind of going, but Cole's not going to be that helpful for your loophole. So yeah, my recommendation is Fogarty and Egan. Second option is Couchman and Egan. But Fogarty is the number 1, I think, for you. Adds that half depth you need. That's what I'm going to recommend for you. And then obviously get off the beers because Manly aren't going to win the comp ever, mate. Nah, they'll win one at some point. And then Xeon, I'll just go back to 6 p.m. Then I'll jump down to the new ones. If you have sent your team through new, I'll get to that in a sec. Hey, Longy, hope you've been well. Thinking of these trades this week. Also, can you help me out on who to play on the bench? What do you think of Hiroti? Would you do Hiroti if Noah isn't brought in? Or Jenkins? Thanks again. Okay, let's see this. So I was sleepy. Rank is rising, mate. Rank is rising. So you got Wilton and Bateman, who are kind of meh in the back row. No one need to say we got to deal with as well. Then for the bench, you've already got Egan sitting in there. from that trade. So Humphries and Cole for Yo and Egan. Those trades are fine. Humphries, Cole. Yeah, I think you just need to go get the green dots right now. The other option you could look at is, I mean, Bateman, you're going to have to sell him soon, but it's not a desperate rush. Bench looks good. I would try to find a way to get Egan into your starting team. It's a hard one to squeeze in, though. Tough one to squeeze in. I think Egan is worth starting, but would I start him over Bateman? Bateman's got the Rabbitohs. I think it's a good matchup for him. Wilton has a matchup against Sharks and Manly. Manly have leaked a few points as well. See, Nawani Tuase is no guarantee whatsoever going to the team. And you don't have a lot of you got the wing fullback cover there with Campbell. It feels to me like you might need to change your trades up actually. So instead of Yo and Egan, you're probably going to have to get a wing fullback or a half. I would probably, if I was you, look at getting Fogarty, getting Latrell, getting one of these other players instead. So Fogarty or Latrell instead of Yo, or one of those other guys that we're talking about too. But get one of them instead, because then your wing fullback spot, like right now as it stands, you're in a dire situation. Because if Noani Tuase doesn't play, that cooks you. So I'd go Fogarty or Latrell instead of Yo. Fogarty is the safer option. Latrell is very fun. I'm going to do Latrell myself just because I think the upside is meteoric. And, I've been moving up the ranks each week, but I could really rise if there's a big one there. I wouldn't buy Herodi. And Jenkins is okay. Jenkins is pretty good, but I think you're better off going for the big points there. Jenkins, a bit late on price. Jenkins will still make cash, but yeah, that's where I'm leaning. Aiden, hey Longy, how are you? I'm doing well, man. Many options. Let's get your thoughts on Plath. If you think he will get the minutes at lock, if he's too risky. Also thinking of Couchman, or is it silly I'm not getting a half? Let's see. So Cole to Riley Smith, Humphries to Plath. Plath, yeah, I think it's too early for Plath. I give him one more week because Gilbert's back this week. I think the minutes could drop off. That's the risk, and he's nearly 700k, so he's not cheap at all. So personally, I'm not a fan of the Plath move. Do you need Plath to be a starter for you? Okay, so he's playing a hooker. You got Mama Zealous, and then you've got Riley Smith. So you're covered pretty well at hooker anyway. So you don't need to do that. I would ditch Plath and get someone else instead. You've got Cleary already. You don't have Yo. Yo could be an option for you. So Isaiah Yo, Latrell Mitchell, Hudson Young. Like there's a bunch of guys around that high price point that I like a lot. Get Couchman as well and save some cash. But overall, I would replace Max Plath with one of those players I mentioned there. So that's the key. Look, Yo's really safe. Latrell, Couchman, Fogarty, like all these guys are good options there. You don't necessarily need a hooker. So that's what I'd replace there. Plath. If Plath goes and plays 50 minutes, he's going to be a disaster. And he has played 50 minutes before when Gilbert's been in the team. So that's the tricky part there. Hunt for Dalium. Hey, Longy, these are my trades I'm thinking of doing this week. Leaning more towards Smith over Egan, just based on how many mid edges I've got already. And good to see a green as well. So I think I need to strengthen my other parts of my team. How would you set up my bench? Would you be playing for feeder in the 17? Is there a pod half? A lot of questions. Also want to save trades. I only have 27. I wouldn't stress too much about saving trades just yet. I think if you can make trades that get you points, then make the trades early in the season. So Cole and Humphries are both guys that are easy sells, so they're good trades. Riley Smith and Fogarty are pretty good options there to buy. So that's pretty solid. Or Humphries and Cole to Fogarty and Egan. Egan is the one that's making more cash more quickly. So you go Egan over Riley Smith. That's a pretty easy call there. So I would say Fogarty and Egan is the two to get. Let me just make sure it works with your team. So you'll get Fogarty. He'll be in that half spot. So you'll be covered there. Egan jumps onto the bench here too, potentially for Kautonga or for someone else in the back line as well. So yeah, these are good trades. Go for Fogarty and Egan. Dave for feeder. At this point, you just kind of have to stick with him. Like it's a tough one because he's still on the bench, but you definitely got to stick with him until such time as he either gets started or until you just run out of patience, basically. But you think he would get the start eventually. All right, Frank, from memory, you're doing pretty well this year, sort of on the rise. So slide through in airplane mode for the screenshot. Okay, we've got trades of Seyfarth and Humphries for Herodi and Cleary, or Humphries and Seyfarth for Cleary and Egan. Definitely Egan over Herodi, 100%. So Egan's cheaper, better job security, longer period of time he'll be in the team, better scorer as well. Herodi is 3 more weeks, maybe round 9. Kale Iro comes back. So 3 more weeks of Haredi, he's not the option. So I would definitely go for Egan. We just confirm your team looks good. So you definitely want to use Preston as a loopholer and Duffy as well. So you can do a double loophole here. And your captain is set up nicely as well. Vice captain Haas plays pretty early, so I don't mind that either. So for your double loophole, I would probably look to move Duffy and Preston into interchange 3 and interchange 4, and then put 2 players who you're a bit uncertain about into these spots. So let me just check who plays when. I think the Eels play pretty late, so they're not the best for loopholes. So it might be a case of loopholing using Egan, for example. Egan might be a good loophole. And then maybe Yongi or Kautonga or someone like that there. So you put those 2 players that you're a bit uncertain about in emergency 5 and emergency 6, and your Preston and Duffy in these interchange 3, interchange 4 spots. Just shoot me a message in level 1 chat with a screenshot of what you're thinking for that loophole, and I'll come back and have a look at it and sort of give you some more detailed thoughts there. Yeah, otherwise, good trades. Go for the Egan trade over Haredi. Then D. Lawrence, 6:00, mate. They're all coming through at 6:01 p.m. Everyone knows how to get on the live video now. So thoughts on these trades? Haven't heard many people talking about Hughes instead of the likes of Fogarty and Katoa. Hughes is interesting. He's getting really cheap. I think he dropped 46K last week from memory. So massive drop, massive break even. He will drop more cash this week, I would expect. So Colin Humphries out as good moves. Hughes and Egan. I personally reckon that you need to hold off on Hughes a couple more weeks. He came off with about 20 minutes to go in the last game with some sort of precautionary lower leg thing. He's okay. He's fine to play, but you know what I mean? They're just sort of softly warming him into the season. Hasn't scored over 50 yet. I would let him drop cash some more, and then we'll all be targeting him in sort of 2 weeks' time. In terms of your team here, the Donkeys on the rise. Payne Haas as captain is a good move. Cleary as vice captain is good. He plays the first game of the round, so you love locking that in early. Ponga and Campbell should bounce back this week. You've got Egan, Hubner, Fisher Harris, Sandon Smith. Okay, Jack Howarth on the bench is one that's a rough one for fantasy. He hasn't been scoring that well. Had a few tries as well. I personally would probably start Howarth against the Warriors over Sandon Smith. That's where I'm leaning, but Sandon could be good too. We don't know what Savala is going to do. So it's a tricky one. Personally, I'm leaning towards Howarth, but you can go Sandon if you want to as well. But between those two, that's a real toss-up there. So as a trades, we would replace Hughes, and you can get basically anyone. So you've got unlimited money pretty much. You already have Yo, May, Haas. You already have Cleary. You're strong in the back line already. It's probably going to be a forward, I would say. Fisher Harris there too. You got a pretty good team, man. In terms of the buy, I would recommend Fogarty as a good option. If you want to go nuclear with me, go Latrell. We can have a fun time. It is risky. Fogarty is the safer option. You could take Couchman and bank a bunch of cash there as well. You could go for Sua Wong, who's a lot cheaper but has big upside. Like I'd go for one of those guys, and they're sort of the toss up there for your team. I think Fogarty is probably the best option just to keep moving up the ranks. A really safe option because you have some other moves that you want to make in the future weeks. So yeah, go for Fogarty and just keep things turning, and then we'll probably sell Howarth next week. So that's what I'm thinking there. Yeah, you mentioned Fogarty there as well. So let's see. Next one, we got Hai Longi, Ramadan Haas. I went from rank 369 to 118 this week, trying to keep the points rolling because I'm 33 points from top 50. Mate, congratulations. Nearly top 100 right now. So you're in a great position. I have 3 options. Humps to Fogs or Humps to Munster or Humphrey and Cole to Egan and Jenkins. Leaves you with 510K in the bank for 2 gun upgrades next week. Planning on Preston and whoever's hot. Preston's a good option. So I might twist it up a bit here and do something different. So I'm thinking that a combination is the best move. Humphreys to Fogarty, great move. And then Cole to Egan. I think those two together is a good move. Not having Jenkins is rough, but I think Fogarty will outscore Jenkins this week by a decent amount. So I think you grab the points and just sort of roll with that. That's what I recommend. I don't think you need to save the trade. Yeah, and Munster, I've got Munster in my team. I'm not completely convinced. That's kind of where I'm sitting with him. In terms of your team, you got Thomas Cant there already. That's a fun pod. Then, yeah, Noani Tuase, who might come into the team late, could be a loophole as well. Yeah, look, Humphreys to Fogarty and Cole to Egan is what I recommend. If you think the Panthers will get a big win this week, you could go to Jenkins instead of Egan, but I think Egan's a must-have, so I'm going to recommend him. Ruck around and find out. Hey, Longy, tough week for me last week. Dropped 2,000 ranks, and so I'm keen on a bounce back for this round. This week's trades, Humphreys and Cole out, Fogarty and Egan in. Planning to launch next week with Hopgood and Seyfarth likely on the trade-out agenda. Keen to hear your thoughts on that strategy. Also, my bench configuration is looking solid for this week. Let's see these trades. So we've got Humphreys and Cole out for Fogarty and Egan. Look, that's a pair of trades that I've mentioned a few times. So, I'm pretty happy with those as trades. I think Fogarty's a solid option. Then for your team here, going dark again. But for your team here, actually, I'm just going to jump and turn the light on. But who is everyone captaining this week? Just drop a message in. Who's your captain? Light on. Damn motion sensor lights. This is the problem with recording after hours. I'm in the office all day. Lights are on. But yeah, who's everyone's captain this week? So let's see this team. Yeah, I think the trades you've mentioned are good. Fogarty and Egan do a job for you. Egan, where's he sitting? I would put Egan into your 17, 100%. So I guess my question is, where do we put Egan into the team? You've got Jenkins on the reserves, but you don't have any dual positions for center. I personally would go, if I was running your team, I would put Tamale and Egan into the bench for Hubner and Sandon Smith. That's my view there. Tamale and Egan, I think they have big upside this week. Hubner and Sandon Smith are fine as well, but I just think Tamale and Egan are really, guys with nuclear upside. If you really wanted to start one of Hubner and Smith, you could move Tamale into the starting center spot instead of Kautonga or Toya and bench one of them instead. But Tamale and Egan have to be in your 17 is my view. Now, let's just see these answers here for captains. Fogarty as captain is brave. May as captain. There's not many people talking about May, so that's a fun one. Yongi captain. Cheeky. Yo as captain. He's been very solid recently. Cleary or May. And who do we think will score more? I think Tamale will outscore Jenkins, but Jenkins is the better scorer. It's just the matchup versus Parramatta. I think Tamale will grab some attacking stats. We've got May. We have Herbie as captain from Loza. Big call there. A couple of Clearys coming through here. Heard it could rain in Brisbane. Look, I'll post an update on weather tomorrow. So usually on the Thursday, if there's noteworthy weather, like that week that Cleary got hurt, I did post the weather and change my captain off Cleary. So I'll post updates if there is confirmed rain. But it sounds like it might be. That could slow down the Broncos and take me off Haas potentially. Latrell or Sharp as a pod. Yeah. Both good pods. I'd go Latrell over Sharp personally. And then Trell as captain, big call, and Piakura. What a captaincy option. What a beast. What a unit. All right, let's keep going through here because, I'm happy with those trades. I made the recommendation, Tamale and Egan into your 17. Hubner, Smith, Kautonga, Toya, two of those guys out. So, great spot. You're in a really good position there to keep moving up. Turtles, legend. If everyone doesn't know, you should know by now. Turtles is a G. He's sitting in 13th place. So he's in a great position here. Offers a lot of great advice in the server as well. So if you tag Turtles, he'll answer your questions. You hate me saying that, but hey, here we are. Slowly losing ranks. Yeah, you were in that sort of top 5 area and then sort of slid out to 13th. But keen to get back into the top 10. You can going for Egan and either Wong, Tarpanay, Nakora, Safidi, Couchman, or Butcher. So Wong, yes. Tarpanay, kinda. Nakora, no. Safidi, kinda. Couchman, yeah. And Butcher, risky pod, Butcher. Very risky pod. Lean towards Nakora as a pod, a soft 5-week draw. Yeah. 59 with 2 tries last week for back row. I don't love it. Cronulla don't look good, is my concern. Decent buy schedule. Could wait till he's cheaper, but I want to lock in some more forwards for my team because he's got solid enough backs and cashies. Wouldn't mind getting Plath to fill that hooker spot. I'm a no on Plath. I think you need to see the minutes. If he plays 80 this week, we'll talk about it, but I don't think he's going to play 80 minutes. Relying on Mamazolis there. Put Gilbert in the second row, Plath at hooker. Can you get your thoughts? Or Plath at lock. Look, Nakora is a big pod. He's a big pod. Is he the pod for you though? Nakora can get hot. I just personally don't love Nakora as an option. He doesn't really have that massive ceiling. Like he can go on a run where he scores really well, scores a bunch of tries, but he can go quite low and he can't really go 100 plus. So for me, Nakora is not the option. I probably wouldn't go for him. If I was choosing for you, because you've already got Fogarty there. He was your pod until this week. The other options there you've got is Wong, Tarpanay, Nakora, Safidi, Couchman, Butcher. Couchman's the same as everyone kind of option there, so probably doesn't serve the purpose you're looking for. Butcher's playing prop this week. I think that might change last minute. He might move back to the bench. Safidi is a fun one. Safidi is a really fun one. He's been pumping out huge numbers. Wong is a fun one as well. I'm probably thinking either Wong, Tarpanay, or Safidi. We'll talk about it more as well because you'll be on the call later with the mid ranges and guns. And guys, if you want to join that call later, we do a private call where we all chat, so you can join that too. It's just in the description there. You got to join up on the WAP and sign up for mid ranger or gun. But for you, Tarpanay, Wong, Safidi, probably Wong for that dual position is where I'm leaning. But if you want to go, I don't mind the idea of Safidi. He's a bit cheaper as well. Tarpanay, I'm probably the least keen on. It's probably Safidi or Wong. I like his pods for you. And then, guys, Crooks, I'll do you, and then I'll jump down to the new messages as well. So thoughts would make change to my center spot. Looking at doing Seyfarth to Burton next week. Could grab a half this week, so I don't need to sell Seyfarth to put JC fullback instead of Tamale. Let's see this team. So Cole and Humphreys out for Couchman and Egan. All right. Yeah, they're good trades. Team looks good. Egan would be in the 17 for me, but you've got him in the loophole anyway, so it kind of works out the same way. Then, yes, Seyfarth, Fahu White, cool. Twea, Gatsonga. Looks good. Yeah, Stafford on the bench. I agree with that. Couchman, it's a deep roster you've got here. Really deep roster. Just a bit cheaper in the back line. That's the thing. Yeah, I think it's a good setup. Egan the loophole is a good move. I would maybe went to the Tigers play. I was thinking about alternate loophole options because you could maybe loophole. Oh, the Tigers play really late. I was going to say maybe Seyfarth, but they play the last game of the round. Yeah, Egan's a good loophole option there. Should be good. I think these trades are really good. So yeah, you're rock solid, man. Keep on rolling with that. Now let's jump to the new ones as well. And then anyone who I've missed, by the way, you'll get into the written reviews. Sometimes you get different advice, by the way, on a written review compared to the live review. You know, different vibes, throwing out different ideas. Have a read of everyone else's as well, and you can see sort of some of the different ideas that are in there. So Oakbot, Duffy and Humphreys definitely have to go. Pretty set on Egan. Team composition, need a wing fullback. Taking the punt on Walsh. Okay. I've decided I'm going to hold Cole because I've only saved one trade thus far. Jenkins, prefer Walsh, bounce back story. I don't mind that either. I think Walsh is a better player than Jenkins for fantasy this year. It's just a question of whether it comes together soon or later. So this is a real pod move. Duffy and Humphreys to Walsh and Egan. I like it. Look, Walsh is one who there's no guarantees at all, but he has been a 50 average guy for a long time, and he will get back to it. The Broncos are playing good footy. There's no reason why he's going to average 30 for this year. So Reece Walsh, he's a pod, big pod, very risky, but he's so cheap that it's almost not that risky. So I like it a lot. You got Piakura there too, so I like you more now. And yeah, look, the rank is coming up as well. I know that was a bit further back last week, so you've moved up a bit there too. Yeah, Walsh pod, I think it's a good option for you. You can move that rank up quite a bit if he does get it together, and you're going early, whereas most people are sort of hesitating on Walsh. So I like that a lot. In terms of your bench, just make sure you do a loophole. So move Preston into the interchange 4 spot, and you can do a loophole with Paddy and Hubner. So you're in a good spot there, man. Keep rolling through. Gentle Giant, PK. Hey, Longy, this is my team at the moment before trades. Just wondering of your general thoughts on where I can improve. So what's your thoughts on my 17? Getting rid of Humphreys and Cole. Which trade seems the better option? Humphreys and Egan for Cole and Fogarty. Oh, sorry, Humphreys to Egan, Cole to Fogarty. Yep, good trade. I like that, obviously. Humphreys to Egan, Cole to Couchman. I like probably Fogarty over Couchman. Debating either Egan or Jenkins as a cheapie, then either Fogarty or Couchman as a point maker. I think Egan is the better option of the cheapies. Just looks really good. Like if he can pump out that 45 average, he's going to be so unstoppable. Leaning towards Egan and Couchman, upgrade mids, but Fogarty does sound nice. Yeah, Sharp, yeah, he could be an option too. Let's just see these trades. So Jenkins and Couchman, Egan and Fogarty. I think Egan and Fogarty is the play. Yeah, just because you don't have heaps of depth in your halves, and you have some depth in your forward pack already. So your middle spot isn't super deep, I will admit. Actually, the middle spot is quite fragile. There are some middle options we can target in future weeks, though. Like you're going to be getting Isaiah Yeo at some point too. So yeah, I would go with this. I think Egan and Fogarty is the target pair. The other option is you could go Egan and Yeo as well. Actually, don't mind that for you. Just thinking, do you have enough halves? Yeah, you do. You covered in the halves. Oh, no, Sandon Smith. Okay, yeah, that's an option as well. I don't know, it leaves you a bit fragile on the halves. So yeah, Egan and Fogarty is probably the best option. Egan and Yo is another option to consider, but Egan and Fogarty looks really good for you. So I'd recommend Egan and Fogs. You're in a good spot there, Gentle Giant PK. Then YTB, good to see you, mate. I think because last year was my first year, I'm extra paranoid about injuries, missing out on potential cash. I wouldn't be worried about the injuries that much. So through the origin period, guys, they've made the rules a bit easier. So in minor buy rounds where there's only like 4 teams on a buy, you only have to play 13 players. And they've also made it a bit easier. Well, not they haven't made it, but it's been a bit easier to make cash this year. So you won't need as many trades down the stretch as well. So for your team, Grant, Haas-Yo, May, Nicholson, Seyfarth, Cleary, Sand and Toy. Yeah, okay. A lot of red dots that we got to deal with. So yeah, you definitely need to be trading. The priority sells for me would probably be Humphreys and Cole, or Humphreys and Duffy, one of those 2 pairings there. Probably Humphreys and Cole. So if you go Humphreys and Cole, and look, this is super straightforward. It's the same trade as a lot of people here, but Humphreys and Cole for Egan and someone. I'm probably leaning towards Egan and Fogarty for you there, just so you're not relying on Sand and Smith as an every week starter. So Humphreys and Cole out, Egan and Fogarty in. Super safe for you. You're in a good spot, man. You'll move up the ranks there too. So good work for your second year. It's your boy Jackezzy. Jackezzy, is that how it's pronounced? Well, it's our boy. Yeah, Longy, haven't really changed my team, but just thinking, what do you think about these trades? Not sure if I want to keep the extra cash for injuries or whatever. Got Preston next week. Egan and Wong, Cole and Humphreys. Yeah, a lot of cash in the bank there, but I like those trades. Then you've got, just make sure you've got Cleary already. You got Cleary. That's cool. You could target Isaiah Yeo or something, but Wong is killing it. So I don't mind that Wong move at all. Wong also covers your middle forward spot. So that's a really good option for you there. For your bench, I would play Jenkins personally. I'd definitely run Jenkins. I'd run him over Kautonga, maybe Toya or Howarth, one of those guys as well, possibly even Hubner. So yeah, these are good trades. Stick with these trades, but just make sure you put Jenkins into your starting team. That's the key move there. Otherwise, rock solid trades. Ethan, hey Longy, hope you're doing well. Last week was rough when I went from rank 950 to 2100. Yeah, brutal week, man. Pretty much need help deciding between Couchman or Fogs. We don't need another edge, but he's so tempting. If I end up going Fogs, JC will move back down to wing fullback. Fogs is a great option, right? Couchman's good too, but I think Fogs is the better scorer overall through the year. So let's see this team, these trades first. We've got Cole and Humphreys for Egan and Fogarty. We like that, obviously. Cole and Humphreys for Egan and Couchman. We like that too. I'll just make sure you've got enough. So you got cover in your team, right? So you got Preston, you got Fisher Harris. Like you're all covered. Forward pack looks deep. I'm going to say firmly it's Fogarty for you, just because look at your depth. Preston, Egan, Fisher Harris, Seyfarth. Like you're so covered in the forwards. So definitely Fogarty for you. Better squad balance. You'll start moving back in the right direction there. Nebsy, can I get a rate for this week? Yes, you can. Overall rank, 650. In a good spot there, man. So let's see your team. Looking clean. Horsbrook, Marmazelis, yeah, Hubner, Egan. Okay, Jenkins on the extended. I would put him into the starting team somewhere or the bench. I'd probably play him over Kautonga, Toya, or Hubner. I'd probably play him over Hubner, I would say. So Jenkins, I'd swap him in for Hubner. Then in terms of your trades, you may have you already traded this week? I believe you might have already traded. Because you got Egan there, Jenkins, Kautonga, you got all those guys. So I reckon you might have traded already. No Humphreys. So yeah, team looks good. Team looks clean. I'm assuming you bought Egan this week and then potentially Fogarty for Humphreys and Cole. That's my guess. And they're good trades, man. They're similar trades. The Humphreys out for Fogarty trade is the trade. You can go other ways if you want a pod, but that's the trade. And Cole for Egan is the trade as well. So easy options there. Bomb Life. Hey, Longy, this is my team at the moment. Trades I'm thinking of. Traded out Cleary a few weeks ago. I don't know if I should be getting him back yet. Can't decide who to take for that edge spot. I was thinking Kautonga. Katoa could be a season keeper, but then obviously could trade in Couchman or Wong. What's your thoughts on that? Do you have any other trade suggestions? All right, Cole Humphreys for Katoa Fogarty. It's fine. It's fine, but you got Egan already. Katoa's all right. He's sort of priced at what he's worth. That's the issue there. Like you're paying full price, but he's a big pod. Score a try. Storm a hot as well. Don't have a buy coming up for a bit. I don't mind him as an option. Big Tino is a nice loophole for you there too. Personally, I'm not the keenest on Katoa there as a pod. Like I don't know, Fogarty and Katoa, it's a solid pair. You could also play around with things like Latrell and Wong, for example, or Latrell and Couchman. I personally would go Latrell and Couchman over Katoa and Fogarty, but these trades are fine as well. You've already got Egan, so just have a toy around with that. Have a look at some of the other pods and the other buy options as well. I'd go Latrell and Couchman, but Fogarty and Katoa could absolutely kill it this week too. Katoa is a pod. It's just a case of whether you're betting on Katoa there. Crossy, hey Longy, just wondering how to approach my trades for this week. Moved Gilbert to Jenkins last week and to bank the cash, so I have 321k in the bank to work with. Any trade advice would be much appreciated. Thanks for all your help as always, Longy. Let's see this. So Grant, Horsburgh, Haas, May, Hofgood, Nicholson. Okay, Cleary, Smith. Yep. Then you've got solid bench. Obviously, got to move Humphreys. So Humphreys and Cole's out is easy. Probably need a half. Humphreys and Cole out for, you guessed it, Fogarty and Egan. I think that's pretty straightforward for you. I think that locks you in a really good position. So yeah, Humphreys and Cole out. Fogarty and Egan in. If there are any pods you want to run by me, let me know. Just shoot a message in the chat there. So level 1 chat or level 2, level 3, depending on what level you're at. If there are pods you want to look at, let me know. But look, Fogarty and Egan is rock solid and super safe there. Then we've got Humphreys to Egan, bunch of cash in the bank. Do you want to do an upgrade is the big question. I'd probably start Jenkins out of that group as well. Maybe move Jenkins up for Hubner or Kautonga. But then the question is, do we have a bit of cash to use to upgrade? Do we use that upgrade? You could upgrade Garrick, for example, if you wanted to, and then move Kautonga into the starting side. It's an option. Go Garrick to Latrell. I don't necessarily think it's completely worthwhile, but I don't hate the idea. This single trade is good. If you want to make an upgrade trade, you can do that too. You could also potentially go Cole out for someone. So Cole out, you've got Cole, he's 375. See, and then you have 358, so you've got about 730k. Got plenty of money to use. I'd probably do that actually if I was you. Cole to Fogarty, for example, or Cole to one of these other guys. That's probably the move. Like a Cole to Fogarty. That frees up Campbell to go back into the wing fullbacks, and you're in a great spot here. So I'd recommend adding that Cole to Fogarty or Cole to Couchman or one of those options there. Then Ruster Thames. This is a coach who I know is doing well. Ranked second, score of 820 last week, went up one spot. Okay, traded in Yo and Egan this week. Wondering how you feel about running Munster at 6. Let's see this team, man. So, ranked number 2. This is a good one. This is a good one. Mate, when you get that number 1, make sure you screenshot it because it looks so good when you get that little first place sitting there in your team. Now, for you, Haasio, May, Crichton, Couchman. Now, I like the team. Munster and Cleary. This is quite similar to my team here, actually, except you didn't have the Harry Grant mistake like I have. But then we've got, Toya, Shibasaki. Okay, Shibasaki's a little dodgy lately, but he's all right. Horsburgh, Hopgood, Wong, Rinakama. I've never even heard of Rinakama. So you've gone the Yo and Egan trades. I think it's a good one to neutralize the Yo pod against yourself. So, Yo's a good option there. You could do something crazy if you wanted to instead of Yo, but I think Yo is a very safe option. You're also the favorite right now, so you're in number 2, so you don't have to be insane. If you wanted to pot up and go crazy, like Latrell Mitchell is a fun one as well around that price, and there's some other pods around you could look at too. But for you, I think Yo is a great one. It just really solidifies your team. Got a very, very, very strong forward pack. Egan in the loophole is really strong too. You could play around with Shibasaki versus Kautonga. Sort of toss up which one of those you want to start. I would consider Kautonga over Shibasaki, but Shibasaki is a good option too. Really, Shibasaki needs to score a try, basically, to be worthwhile in this game. Kautonga feels like he's got a bit more base about him. So personally, I'm leaning Kautonga over Shibasaki. And then your captain there, you got Payne Haas. That's rock solid. I would just make Cleary your vice captain because he plays that first game of the round. So look, overall, They're good trades. Yo is really safe. You could pot up and go crazy if you want, but I think Yo is good. It just solidifies your forward pack. You've got a certain strategy that you're running here that is very forward dominant. So just keep on rolling with that. It's working brilliantly for you, mate. Then Simster, thoughts? Just not sure on bench and emergency organization. Again, very tempted by Trelmet. Rearrange if needed. So, guys, just a reminder, I do have to wind up in about 5 minutes. So, if your team does get missed, you'll be in the written reviews later as well. And we can also chat in different channels. So, let's see this. Very tempted by Trelmet. Can rearrange if needed. Yeah, look, Trell's a good option. So, I'll go quicker here just to get through as many of these as I can. You've already done your trades there, I'm guessing. You got Egan and who'd you buy? Because no Humphreys. Fogarty. Okay, yeah. Yep, that's good. Riley Smith is one I'd consider starting over. It's tough with Corey Pakes. I'd probably start Riley Smith over Corey Pakes. I think he'll play more minutes and score better this week. But Corey Pakes has been going well as well. I'd also consider maybe Toya over Stafford Toa. Not guaranteed, but I would consider that. I'd probably do it myself. But really, these are coin toss like decisions, right? So make your own call on those. But Purdue is another one you could start over. I'd probably start Purdue over Toa as well. I like the matchup against South Sydney. So yeah, Stafford Toa is one I'm not super high on this week, but look, make your own call there. He has been absolutely killing it, so you might just keep on rolling. But yeah, those trades are good, and that's just the recon fig I'd recommend there. Then Dylan currently traded Humphreys to Yo and Cole to Egan. Not sure if these are good trades. So heaps of money in the bank. Humphreys to Yo is good. Cole to Egan's good. Good trades. Let me just make sure there's nothing glaring in your team. I'd play Dylan Egan over Kautonga. And I'd probably play Dylan Egan over maybe Shibasaki or Toya as well, because you could move Kautonga into the starting side. But I think Dylan Egan should be in year 17. So he's just been rock solid. And unless the role changes, he'll score another 45, which is really good. Now, will he strike? I'd love your thoughts on my team. I've gone Cole to Egan and Humphreys to Wong. These are good trades. And then you move Wong and Egan to 17, maybe Toya and Yongi out. I would definitely play Wong and Egan over Toya and Yongi. I agree with that. Let's see. So overall thoughts on your team look really balanced. Kautonga is a bit of a weakness in the back row. Unless you have someone you can cover him with, you probably need to address the second row spot. You are talking about buying Wong, though, so that does address that. So you're straight away covered there. I think your trades you recommended are good. I think your team is really nicely balanced across the board as well. I would make your vice captain, Nathan Cleary, because he plays that first game. And I would definitely run Wong and Egan over Yongi and Toya. So, yeah, they're the recommendations I'd make for you. Keep on rolling through. Brian H. Thanks again, bro. What do you think of my trades? Make up my bench. You the man. Thank you, mate. Colin Humphreys to catch. Obviously, we like that. Team looks solid. Let's see the bench. Bench is Starling, Couchman, Kautonga, Egan, then Sandon Smith, Hubner, Gilbert, and Marzu. I would bring Gilbert and Marzu into your team. Gilbert's not the best, but he's definitely better than Kautonga. And he's definitely better than some of these other options as well. So, yeah, I would swap Gilbert in for Kautonga. And I'd probably try to bring Marzu into the team as well. Maybe Marzu over Toya, potentially, to match up against the Tigers. So that's the swaps I'd make. But overall, those trades are really good. And I think if you reconfigure that, you'll be in a perfect position. Little Josh Solo. Hey, Longy, what should be the makeup of my 14-21? Let's quickly check your trades. Good trades. You knew. You knew you were covered there. I probably think about Riley Smith over Kautonga. So maybe Riley Smith over Hubner. I think Hubner will have a quieter game at some point when the Rabbitohs don't have 84 injuries in one game. He'll be a bit quieter. For the starting team, Stafford Toa, I'm not that excited about either. So that's when I'd think about dropping out of the team. I'm kind of leaning towards Purdue over Stafford Toa myself, but Toa's been good. He's been really good, but he's scored a try a game. And I think Braden Best might lock him up. So that's the one change I'd recommend. But look, your trades are fantastic and you're in a good spot. Jesco, welcome. You're a new one. I see a little sign there. So, wondering what would be best to do. Only 5K left. Traded Cole for Egan, Humphreys for Fogarty. Got Couchy, Nicholson, Firma a few weeks ago, and they're still. Yeah, look, Firma's a good option. He'll bounce back. In terms of your team, Cole for Egan is good. Humphreys for Fogarty is good. Your team looks solid. Your bench here: Mamazelis, Jenkins, Egan. They're the ones I'd start. I'd consider playing Purdue maybe over Shibasaki or Toya. I would probably play Purdue over Shibasaki personally. That's where I'm leaning. But other than that, you're in a great spot. Those trades are ones I've sort of gone through quite a bit, so they're pretty easy to talk about. Starboy, we'll go through your team in the next one, like when we go online at 8 o'clock. But let me just quickly touch on your trades. So it's Egan and Couchman or just Egan. I think the Humphreys to Couchman is worth it, man. Go grab the points, 100%. You could even go for a more nuclear option, like someone even more exciting. You just cracked into the top 1,000. So could pot up, go Latrell with me. Other options are there too. CJ, hey Longy, what should I do with my second trade? Tossing up between Couchman or Campbell. Go. Let's just see this one. I'll quickly hit a few more. Colin Humphreys out for. There's 3 more. Colin Humphreys out for Egan and someone. Get whoever you want. I like Latrell, but Fogarty's good. You know, all the guys I've talked about today are really good options for your team. I think Latrell could be fun. You don't have heaps of depth in the wing fullback spot. You've already got the halves covered, so you don't really need Fogarty. You could potentially. I mean, Egan's going to come in and start for you in the back row. You go for Hudson Young. But I like a Hudson Young or in that spot or a Latrell or someone like that for you. Raz, what do you think of this? Egan, is everyone else already going? Big upside and Katoa for the pod. But you might toast. Good to see you, mate. Yeah, Katoa is a fun pod, 100%. I like these trades. These are good trades. Let me just confirm your roster. Tamale must be starting this week against Parramatta. You have to start Tamale. I would move Tamale in for Stafford Toa. That's an easy, quick change. But yeah, you got to start Tamale 100%. Isaac Dragon, either Humphreys and Cole to Yo and Sullivan or Humphreys and Hopgood to Yo and Fogarty. Yo and Sullivan or Yo and Fogarty. I think Sullivan's a bit too risky, so I'm probably leaning towards Yo and Fogarty. I'd go Yo and Fogarty, grab the cash. You're in a great spot. And then Egan, I would play him over Hubner. Egan's ahead of Hubner in my cheapie ranks. There too. Then LJM. Hey, Longy, jumping on the gun. Hines. Oh, Nico Hines. Big pod. So Colin Humphreys out for Egan and Hines. Look, it's a mega pod. I'm not going to talk you out of Hines. He has big upside there. I would start Egan and Jenkins, and I would remove Toa and Hubner. Start Egan Jenkins, remove Toa Hubner. I'm not going to talk you out of your trade. Hines is one who could go nuclear any given week, so I don't mind that at all. And then Kyle Goldsack looking for points after a few awful rounds, 36K rank, max trades, 80K in the bank, round 6 trades, Humphrey to Sharp. Cole to Hubner, positioning for 5 rounds in Origin. So Humphreys to Sharp and Cole to Hubner, they're fine trades. Focus on dual position. Yeah, Hopgood you could sell as well. Not the worst option. Howarth is a sell too. See, I like your trades you've recommended there. Look, Sharp's a big pod. He's not who I'm going for, but I like him as a pod a lot. Then I would start Jenkins over Hubner. But other than that, you're in a great spot. With your captain and vice captain, just make Isaiah Yo your vice captain because that player will lock out on Thursday and Yo plays on Thursday. So that's easy. Brad, we'll go through your team more in the other section as well. So remember, just down here, guys, it's the voice call. So if you're in guns or mid-ranger, you can jump on that voice call and we all just have a chat about our team. So Brad, you're in your purple, which means you're a mid-ranger. So you can jump into that there. Up 4K in the rankings. Huge move there. So trades Humphreys and to Egan and Gazewski to Fogs or Humphreys to Egan and Gazewski to Couchman. That's the big toss up there. It really depends what your team requires. Your halves are pretty solid already. So you're not desperate for halves. And your forward pack is a bit lighter with Kautonga in the starting side. You've already got Wong there, but I'm probably leaning towards Couchman for you. I'd go Couchman just for that forward depth. I think your halves are really well covered for you. So I would go Couchman just for your team. And cheers for the kind words. Then Mitch, how many more do we have? Oh, we got a few more to do. All right, I'll get through these ones. And then I do have to jump off. So, hey, Longy, thoughts and trades, 100K in the bank. I'm going to be really quick. Humphreys and Cole. Humphreys and Cole's are the sells. You've got Metcalf already in the halves, but you probably need a half. So Humphreys and Cole are out. Fogarty and Egan in. That's super easy. Like, they're the options. If you want to talk about pods as well, shoot me up later. But yeah, look, Fogarty and Egan are really good options. Kai 567. So Kai, just to let you know, you have access to this channel here, Level 3 Gun Society. A lot more one-to-one chat if you do join on the guns. Just because, you know, there's obviously a lot of people that we work with here, but if you do that guns level, if you guys are in level 1, you want more advice, you can upgrade to guns as well. And you can also be on that voice call later. But for you, okay, done. Yeah, look, we're looking good here. Couchman, Crichton, Fogarty, Cleary. Yeah, this is a good side. Humphreys and Firma. I wouldn't sell Firma. So reverse the Firma to Tarpanay trade. 100%, and do Cole to Egan instead. Keep Firma. Firma will be fine. We'll talk about more later, but Firma is 100% going to be fine. Paddy Carrigan is the GOAT. Here's the trades. Let's see. Humphreys and Cole, Fogarty and Egan. We like those trades. We talked about them. Then I would play Jenkins over Shibasaki here. And I would play Marmazelis over someone, probably Stafford Toa. Yeah, I'd play Marmazelis over Stafford Toa and Jenkins over Shibasaki. They're the two chains I'd make for you. But otherwise, you're in a really good position. Those trades are solid. Latrell as well. That's the pot I'm going for. So if you do want to go Latrell instead, you can wait a week or you can do it this week. He's a hot option. Geordie, thoughts on trades and team this week? Humphreys and Duffy for Egan and Safidi. These are fine trades. Safidi's a fun pod. I don't mind him at all. It strengthens up your team nicely. The loophole's not going to be the best. Tamale needs to be in your 17, 100%. Tamale in for Toya or Kautonga. You can choose between those two. So he's definitely got to be in your 17. And I would probably, I know Bruno's there too, and that's the lights going out. So you guys can see me still, but then I'll just finish these ones up. Dragon up. Not sure if I should trade in May for points or Egan for profit, Speedy for pod. Well, I'll tell you. So yeah, May, 100%. Go get May. Definitely need to get May. Your trade outs should be Humphreys and then someone else, maybe Cole. You can go Humphreys and Cole out for May and Egan. That's good. You need to go for a cheaper player. There's some cheaper options as well. You could go straight to the half at the Roosters, Savala. But yeah, I would definitely target Terrell May. That's the big one for you there. Shoot me a message in level 1 chat if you have any follow-up questions, because yeah, that's a pretty open one. But I would go Terrell May. Humphreys and Cole out for Couchman and Egan. Yep, good trades. Looks good. Yep. No, you're in a good spot here. I've done trades. Can trade Munster and Humphreys. No, I wouldn't trade out Munster. I think these trades are better. So Humphreys and Cole out for Couchman and Egan. Rock solid. Leaves the team really good. You've got Munster there to cover the halves. Munster's going fine. He's not going the best, but he's going fine. The Orna, we've got, Humphreys and Cole out for Egan and Fogarty. We like that. Bench, I would play Marmazelis over Hubner. And I would probably play Seyfarth over Purdue, personally. But then you could maybe play Purdue over Stafford Toa. They're the changes I'd make there for you. Otherwise, look, good trades, man. Mitch, cheers for the trade advice. Long, you need help with the bench. Rank 28. Bravo, my friend. Bravo. So, yeah, that's a cracking rank there. Drinky's Dream. You've been around for a bit too. Egan, I would definitely play. I think Egan's rock solid. I would play Egan over Stafford Toa without even thinking about it. And then I would consider Purdue over Sandon Smith. I'm just not the highest on Sandon Smith, but he might have a better role, but I'd probably play Purdue over Sandon Smith. Metcalf versus the Storm, I don't love that much. So Egan and Purdue in, Sandon and Toa out is what I'd recommend for you. But let's chat about it more through the week as well. And Rolly, you're the last one here. I saw some lads around. Last time I posted my team. JC, it's the halves to fit into Malay at my wing fullback. Humphreys and Shibasaki out for Mitchell and Egan. That's fun. $0 in the bank is always a good sign. By the way, guys, I've used $0 in the bank as a sign you should do the trade. So I like that a lot. I like your bench configuration as well. You don't have the spare halves to do a great loophole or anything like that, so there's no move there. Hudson Young is a nice pod. You got Latrell. This is a podalicious team. Overall rank 6,000. You could absolutely rise up the rankings here. So cracking trades. That's a great one to finish on. Great work, Rolly. All right, everyone. That is us done and dusted for trade advice this week. If you are in there and you haven't received your advice yet, you will get a message later. So that will come through. You'll be tagged later tonight. Otherwise, if you are on level 2 or level 3, and if you want to join that as well, link is in the description, you'll get onto our call later in about 50 minutes where we jump on and talk a bit of fantasy together. So thank you, guys. Peace out. Cheers for that. And see if there's any good messages I want to pop up. Freedom Rider, thanks for the blessings of your wisdom. No worries, mate. Appreciate it. Good to see you, Laza. Always good to see you, mate. And then thanks for the stream. Like, no worries, Blaze. All right, everyone, have a good one. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Good luck with those trades.